Welcome to Journey to Authenticity, the podcast designed to help you become your true authentic self, create a clear vision for life, and ultimately step into a life of transformation. I'm your host, Braiden Belnap. I'm a transformation life coach, speaker, and entrepreneur dedicated to helping you do just that, transform your life. But what if you're in a position where you're rumbling and struggling with rejection? Maybe it's gotten to the point where you've been told no so many times that you're looking for external validation to determine whether you're enough or not enough. That's exactly why we're bringing on Kelli Baker today, as she joins us to speak about her story of being a professional dancer and starting through rejection at a very young age and seeking for that validation. And through her life and through her life lessons, she's learned to be her true self, no matter what the rejection is, and how to overcome that and not let it get under her skin. With that in mind, welcome to the show, Kelli.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely. It's been a long time coming. I'm so excited we're here.
No, I appreciate you being patient with my schedule. I definitely have been excited to come.
Well, living in Vegas and me being in Salt Lake, I'm just grateful we were able to do it in person or virtual.
Yes, I know. Me too. It's always more fun to be face to face.
Yes, it's so much better.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Plus then I get the headphones,
Yes.
I get the whole experience.
Absolutely.
So I was just being selfish.
I'll take it. I think that's selfless of you, to say the least. Anyways, to jump into things, what initially inspired dance for you?
Yeah, as long as I can remember, it's always been dance. And I think the biggest inspiration for it has been my mom. She was a dancer, an incredible dancer, professional dancer, choreographer, and I grew up watching her be her most beautiful, authentic self through all of it. And I saw her be a mom through all of it. And I saw her have the highs and the lows of what the industry kind of brings. And so, I don't know, I think just seeing her move through that space the way that she has and still being the most beautiful, loving human alive, I don't really know. All I know is I tried other things growing up and nothing stuck like dance did. I'm a little bit of an emotional person as well. And I think that there's something about the outlet of dancing and the release of energy that has been always very appealing to me.
Yeah, there's moving your motion equals emotion. Right. I always say that. And so I can only imagine there's the sad dances, there's the happy dances, there's the upbeat dances.
Totally. Yep.
Absolutely.
There's always something. I always tell my students, I always tell everyone that the studio is always there for you. Whatever you're kind of going through, you can always go back to the studio and just feel it all out. But yeah, my mom's amazing. She was in Smooth Criminal, the Michael Jackson music video, and performed with him live and in a bunch of movies and music video. She's just, she's badass.
That's amazing. We need more good moms in this world.
I know. She's so great.
I'm such a mama's boy as well. So I can totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dancing's important. And I know that sounds weird, but even for the non-dancers of the world, it's good to get up and move a little bit once in a while.
I think that they have these studies that have, I feel like I'm talking I've seen it on the gram, so I think that they're real, but studies where they're showing how important movement and dancing and just letting yourself be move freely like that, how important it is for your health or how impactful it is for your health. And so that's also something that's been really lucky for me, is it's just always been intertwined with my work. And so sometimes I probably don't realize how important or how grateful I am to just be able to have to do that. Just woven into my career.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And I love the one thing I mentioned, we need more good moms in the world, but we also need more impactful teachers and mentors. And the fact that you're that for your students.
Yeah.
Where you're hey, this studio's always here for you.
Right.
That's impactful for somebody.
Yeah. You go through a lot of things, and to have a safe space outside of maybe, not saying that, your family can't be that, your friends can't be that, whatever, but just a space for yourself to be able to go in, close the door, close your eyes, put on music, and be able to kind of work through some things. It's so powerful, and it gets such a tool that I've always been incredibly grateful for. And I definitely have used a lot.
Absolutely.
So it's been good. But yeah, I co-direct and co-own a company called the Collective Dance Co. And we talk about that a lot with the people that come and take part in our events and our experiences, where, you know, dance can either be like the best thing, and we can get into this later, but dance can be the best thing for us mentally, our confidence, or it can be like tragic. So you have to go in and choose. You have to be a part of like having it be the things that make you feel better, not worse about yourself. Like that's when you get into like comparing yourself to other people. But yeah, I'm super grateful for dance.
Yeah, and I would say that honestly can be for any industry.
Totally.
I mean, podcasting.
Oh, I'm sure.
I love it.
Right.
But how easy is it to go look at somebody else's podcast? Oh, look at that setup.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I went through that process initially.
Of course, it's so natural.
You have to go learn.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. It also helps you become better. There's good parts of it for sure.
And to find you.
Exactly.
Like, if there wasn't, I mean, I'll quote all the people that not all of them because there's a lot, but I mean, there's Tony Robbins, there's the Jay Shettys of the world, there's Mel Robbins, there's Jesus, there's Buddha,
Right.
there's like all of these different people we can learn from in the podcasting and coaching world. And I had to go learn to find me. And I'm sure that's the same process for dance.
Totally. I have a friend who was teaching a class, and she's phenomenal. And she said something like, everyone always says, you know, you need to be yourself when you're on the floor, be yourself when you're dancing, be yourself, you know, but a lot of people don't know who they are yet. And it takes those experiences. It takes being like, do I like that about that person? Do I want to be more like that? Oh, no, I don't think so. You know, it's fine tuning and figuring out taking the time to figure out who you are or what's important to you. And then you really can start having more of a voice. And I'm sure you've found that in this industry as well. But you're right. I think it goes across for anyone and whatever kind of career path you've chosen.
Absolutely. So for you, it sounds like that dance hasn't always been unicorns and rainbows.
No.
To say the least. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. Dance has been brought the best experiences in my whole life. Some of everything good. I mean, I met my ex-husband, who I have my beautiful children with, through on the set of High School Musical 2. And I've met most of my friends, and I've learned incredible things, and I've traveled the world. And I'll be forever, ever grateful for this career that I've been able to carve in my life. But yeah, there's definitely been, you know, hard parts too. The industry is tough. If I get the job, that means my friend doesn't. And that doesn't mean that I'm better than her. It just means that I was a better puzzle piece for this particular job. You're constantly, I mean, there's auditions that you go in and you're, in all black. You're usually wearing all black. You're in a heel. You're like standing there, you have a number on. And sometimes they'll like line you up and just read off numbers before you even do one dance move. And they're like, thank you so much for coming. We won't be using you. And it's because they have like a specific vision in mind. So it's really hard to not take it personally, but it's really not. But it feels wildly personal. So there's definitely been growing up in it, and being a young dancer is tough because you're constantly looking for that outside validation. I mean, you're training your brain to look for it, right? You're training your brain to stand out. You're training your brain to wait for people to clap. You're waiting for someone to say you got the job. And when those things don't happen, you feel like, oh, what did I do? Crap, I'm not good enough. They're better than me. Or what did I do wrong? It's definitely can be very tough. And that's part of why we started our business or our company is because we just wanted another space where people were able to remember why we dance, because it's starting to be so competitive and it can be really heavy mentally. And I mean, it's always going to be competitive, but if there's just another voice in your head reminding you like, oh, that's okay, that it's not a reflection on me, I think that's important. Because the trouble is that what is in the studio with you, those things that you're learning, looking for that validation or being on stage and waiting for that applause, that doesn't stay with you in the studio. That follows you. And that followed me out of the studio into my life. And I was constantly looking for that. And it definitely taught me some not so good things. I definitely wasn't as confident as I should have been. I didn't have the same type of boundaries and standards and things, because I was just like, tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm good enough, tell me, please tell me, because I couldn't tell it to myself. And so that definitely led me into some life decisions that were much heavier than just like messing up a dance. You know what I mean? So I am really grateful because I feel like it's definitely shaped who I am, but I think that there are parts of it that made me learn things the hard way, like from body dysmorphia and like being wildly obsessed with what you look like aesthetically and whether or not that's part of why you're getting the job or not. And or growing up, being a girl is just hard in general growing up. I mean, I'm sure it's tough for a guy too, but like it's just hard. And so, yeah, it's a conglomerate of things, but kind of like you said before, like you probably can relate it to just about any industry, any career path, but this is just, and luckily it's kind of the only one I know. So it definitely, there's different stages and levels to the fuckery of it all. Like it's just crazy.
This is Journey to Authenticity.
Okay,
we gotta be ourselves.
Like I should be careful though. Otherwise I turn into a sailor.
There is a mind fuckery in, here's the thing. So I often talk about a topic called cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it really goes into the concept of victorhood or victimhood, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you can relate to this. I know I've been a victim in life,
right?
Where I've been effect focused.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of this that I did this. It's because of that person that I did this. It's because I didn't get that opportunity that this person got as to why I'm not here.
Right.
Where when we really can look in and be like, okay, how can I be the cause to becoming the best person that I can be?
Mm-hmm.
How can I be the cause to building the most beautiful relationships? How can I be the cause to making my dreams a reality? Mm. And when situations like being told no, and as you've mentioned, the dance industry, that's a real thing.
Right.
How can I be the cause for that next role?
Mm-hmm.
Was I just not that puzzle piece?
Right.
Is there nothing actually wrong with who I am?
Right.
And I just need to go find a better role for me? Mm-hmm. And you can start to look within and have a different approach.
Totally.
Which on the other side, you are presented with situations where which one are we going to be?
Right.
Which is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And sometimes we really have to lean into, as weird as this sounds, victimhood can serve us. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
Because those hardships is what blesses us for the future.
Totally.
I want to take it back to your story, though. You mentioned that sometimes it is hard. It's a mind fuckery.
Right.
Do you remember the first time you were told no?
Oh, yes, I do actually.
I would love to hear about that.
I think, well, I mean, I'm sure there were, actually, I can even take it back further. I mean, there was this dance that I wanted to be in so bad. And it was kind of one of those dances. It was like something that this studio did every year. And I just always wanted to be a part of it. And I remember not being asked to be a part of it. And I was just like so heartbroken. And and I think I was pretty young. I had to have been like 8, like, I don't know, 7 or 8, maybe 9. And I don't remember much else besides just the fact that I didn't ever get to do it. And then they stopped doing it. And then once you're like, and it's for like the younger kids. So you like kind of age out of it. So that always made me sad. Thanks, guys. And then, I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, there's so many times I could talk about in this. Like, I remember there was a show here in Utah, and there was a part, a number that kids every year could audition for. And I remember finally auditioning and finally getting a yes. And then I remember my mom, I was in my room. My mom's on the phone with my dad, who they're divorced and didn't talk unless they had to, generally. And I remember thinking like, I wonder what they're talking about. Like, that's cool that they're on the phone together. It seems like they're like getting along and talking. And I remember hearing my mom say like, well, we can just like talk to her and maybe she wants to try soccer. Maybe she like wants to do soccer this fall instead. We'll talk to her about it. And in my head, I'm like, I'm going to be busy. Like I have this, I made it into the show. And what had happened was there was 2 casts and someone from the other cast quit. And so to make it even, they had cut me from the other one. And I was so sad. And it's just hard. It's just so hard. I mean, and it honestly, I don't know. I mean, I guess it does get a little easier, but there's always just like a little piece of you that you're just like, dang it. Why not me? What did I do wrong? Or am I not good? I mean, I feel like I'm constantly always fighting that battle. But with the right tools and the right like training of your brain, you're able to like move through it much easier and much faster. But yeah, I mean, there's a million times, but there's been a bunch of times that there have been yeses too, and so I think if you are wanting to be a part of that world and industry, and we talk a lot about that too, is because I think that some people think they can escape the rejection, and you can't. There's always going to be rejection you're dealing with. There's always going to be parts of it that are just hard, and yeah, it starts young, which I don't know how great that is for like a young brain, to be really honest. Like it might not be that healthy, but I'm like a fully functioning member of society, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Absolutely. I think it again, going back to like victorhood and victimhood.
Right.
As a kid, learning to be told no
Yeah.
can strengthen you.
True.
As long as you persevere.
Yes.
Which you have.
Yeah. And I like what you said about how that can be a tool like victimhood, because there's like there's a level of owning the taking responsibility where you go like, okay, maybe that is true. Like there are things that happen to you, right? There's things that happen to you. There's things that have happened to me because of decisions that I've, like because I made a specific decision, this happened. And I think that's the part where like that doesn't take away the fact that maybe someone really did hurt you, or maybe something did happen, or that was the situation. And truly, maybe it was a little bit out of your hands, but owning the fact that, okay, but I made the decision to go into this situation. And now that is the effect of that. And that is okay. But owning your part in things really just gives you so much power. And there's so much power in saying like, yes, okay, I learned, and now I'm learning, and now I'm going to make a different decision, hopefully. Because hopefully when we know better, we do better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Not always. Sometimes I've been known to make, like I've had to learn the hard way a few times, but I get there.
I'm the kid that touches the hot stove like 2 or 3 times before I learn not to touch the hot stove again.
Same actually.
We need people like you and me in the world.
Exactly. You're welcome, everybody. Okay.
We'll do it for you. You can learn from us.
Exactly.
With that, and this could be applicable to industry or an outside the industry, and maybe they really commingle together. Mm-hmm. What was the hardest limiting belief that you had to overcome to get to where you're at now?
Ooh. I think that really believing that you are, I think this sounds like so wildly cheesy, saying like you are enough, right? But more than that, like knowing that you are the only you here, and knowing that if we want to put it into the industry, like I do things the only way Kelli can. I approach a role, I approach choreography, I approach a performance or whatever in a way that only I can. And that is incredibly beautiful. That also means that there's going to be things that aren't right, because not everything is right for Kelli, right? And so I think for me, understanding and accepting the fact that like there's a lot of beauty in being exactly you in your authenticity is the only way we should be moving through life. And I think that's applicable for the industry and for like real life and being a mom and being a partner and all these things, and really not being hard-headed and not being like, well, this is me, deal with it. But being open to grow and be better, but also going like, no, it's okay that I'm who I am, because there's a lot of beauty in that. And just because it's different than so-and-so or so-and-so doesn't mean that it's wrong. So I think there's a level of acceptance and just being okay and understanding that being authentic, as long as it's truly, real, and like you're being honest with yourself about, am I stepping up and doing the best I can every day? And I think that's probably been one of the most important things that I've experienced. And it's helped me move through jobs. It's helped me, being a dancer is interesting too, because you develop so many very close friendships. Like there's, family, like our casts. So for instance, one of the shows I did was a Cirque du Soleil show called Viva Elvis. And, you take a bunch of people who don't know each other and you put them in a room, a studio for months. We went up and lived in Cirque du Soleil's headquarters in Montreal, Canada. And, these people become your family. And then, but it's only a certain amount of time that the contract is. So then once the contract's over, everyone disperses and goes to a different job, goes to a different show. And so you meet a new group of people, but you have this like incredible, deep, wonderful relationships with all these different people now. And that's been an interesting thing for, to be able to get along with everyone, to be able to come into a space and be hopefully fairly likable, but also authentic, where you're not being fake. And that took me a second to like understand about myself too, like bit of a people pleaser. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to do that at all. And then I was a little unlikable, or I was being lazy. Like you're kind of once you kind of accept, okay, this is who I am. I'm being authentic. I'm showing up my best every day. That also helps a lot with that part of the job too, because otherwise it can be kind of tough. It can be hard. I remember there was like a couple times that not often, I can only remember like 2, where I kind of like butted heads with a castmate, and I still have like anxiety about it. I did not like it, but it was just because I wasn't being like wildly authentic. I wasn't like, trying. So I think that's something that that I've been able to apply as well for that part of the industry, which is really cool. You have like all these different families and factions of your life and chapters, and it kind of like correlates with like the year, like my age and things. But I've been able to meet some incredible people too.
Absolutely. You mentioned earlier that there was a part of your life where you were not making the best decisions. Is that where you learned to be yourself?
I think yes, but little by little. Like I think honestly, I'm still figuring it out. I still I feel like I'm still learning, and I'm definitely the most powerful and comfortable and soft and hard, and I feel like the most whole I've ever been now.
Good.
But I definitely think that going through those things, like some of the things I went through, a lot of it was, I got married really young before I understood who I was, and then remarried very quickly to another person that again, I was looking for like outside validation constantly, and like didn't know how to give it to myself. And so I was just feeling like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what, I felt like was the right thing. And again, I'm so grateful. And, I have beautiful things in my life because of it. But yeah, I think that was the start of me realizing that like, oh, other people are not going to answer all of my questions. Other people don't know me. I mean, I was the kid that I would go get my hair done. I would like go to the salon and be like, what do you think I should do? I had no like sense of, here's what I want. Here's how I feel like I look beautiful. Instead, I was like, what do you think would be like good? What do you think would make me look pretty? And that has been something that took a lot of time to figure out. And I don't think I can even blame dance for that. I think that's just a part of, that was something that I personally was dealing with, or of who I was or whatever. That was something that definitely I took to some time to
Figure
move
out.
through. Yeah, definitely.
So what did that, and maybe there's not a process that you followed, but what were some of the things that helped you start to validate yourself?
Like tools or like, what do you mean?
Whether it was a life experience, maybe there was somebody in
so
your
many.
life, or maybe it is tools that you learned along your way.
No,
that helped you.
well, I mean, I think enough times where I had a few life experiences where I was just like, oh, I found myself in a pattern. I found myself in a space where I'm like, why am I attracting this into my life? And then why am I okay with it? And it took me longer than I'd like to admit to learn. Like if I were to think about the years, it was a long time, but little by little, I think I got stronger and stronger. But I think the tools that really have helped me is like learning to start the day with gratitude, writing things down in my journal, making sure I'm making time for like myself. What are some things that I really want to do? Like over the last little bit, I was just realizing how happy it made me to go to like a hot yoga class and then the next day to go to a dance class and, these things for myself rather than trying to worry about, oh, I'm not really, canceling these plans or not making time for this, but that's okay because this is what's making me super happy right now. And starting to pay attention to that more. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I don't really have like a specific answer for you on that one because I feel like it's just one of those things I had to learn kind of gradually and slowly. And it was definitely brought on by people and certain experiences that I'm just like, oh, no, I get it now. I've learned that one. And yeah, I don't know.
Well, what I love you mentioned is you're still figuring it out.
Oh, yes.
But anybody that says I have it figured out
right.
is a red flag, and
True.
you probably
So
should run
true.
the other
Exactly.
way.
Exactly.
Like journey to authenticity is a real thing.
Yeah.
You can be your authentic self now.
Right.
But your best self is always evolving.
Right.
There's always something new to learn. There's always a new person that's going to come into your life.
Right.
There's always opportunities that are going to present themselves. Whether that's a professional opportunity or that's whether you're presented with an opportunity to go have some fun.
Right.
What's the best thing for you?
Right.
And it's a journey.
Totally.
So we're always figuring it out.
Yes, absolutely.
But there is a time that we hit where we're good.
Right.
Like for the longest time, I can honestly say like I had a lot of self-hatred for self.
Yeah.
And it was both life experience as well as reading books that helped me find myself.
Yes.
And say, you know what? I'm actually kind of a cool dude.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And they're both important.
Yes. I completely agree.
Absolutely. So we talked about I am enough and that being the thing that you found in one of the hardest things you had to overcome.
Right.
For somebody out there that's maybe in a different world or a similar world to dance, trying to go out and perform, what's a piece of advice you would leave with them that they could use to start to believe that they are enough too?
I think remembering that, I kind of said it before, but remembering that there's really only one you. That's it. There's only one you. And to try to be anyone else is just going to bring frustration and disappointment. And yes, do you watch other people and go, oh, I like that about them, or I like how she does that? Like we talk about that a lot in the dance world, in the studio, where we go like, watch someone different this time, see what they're doing, see if that's something you'd want to implement. Taking pieces and learning from people is different than trying to be someone, right? You have like your bag of things, and now you can be like, oh, I really like what he said. I'm going to take that with me. And maybe I'll start saying that. And But that doesn't mean I'm trying to be you, right? It just means that I learned something from you. I got something from you. And so I think that's what I would say, is to remember that you can learn from everyone, but it's only to help you find out who you are. And that you are the only one that can do it the way you can is really important. I've had, I was behind the table judging this, I don't even remember what the job was, but I was doing it with my mom. And I remember that there was this girl, I don't even remember what the client was, but the client was there with us, and that doesn't always happen. And there was a girl that was a phenomenal dancer. We knew she had been on, like, that she was coming, and she was killing it. So good. But wasn't exactly like, I don't know, actually. I think she was doing a really good job. She was like connecting, whatever. But there was this other girl that came, and she wasn't a good dancer. And so we weren't really paying attention to her. But she was exactly what this client had been like looking for. And she was connecting, and she was like there and confident. And she knew she wasn't like the best dancer, but she showed up anyway. And she's the one that got the job because she connected with the client, and it was the puzzle piece he had been looking for. And we had to figure out how to make it work as far as like the dancing went. But it just is one of those things where like you could be the best dancer in the room. That doesn't still mean that you are the right dancer in the room, if that makes sense. And remembering that that's okay, and there's going to be another opportunity, is really important. But it's not easy. You could say that about anything, right? In life.
Absolutely.
In life, sometimes it's just lifey, and you're just like, tomorrow's new. Tomorrow's a new day.
Absolutely. Now I have a curious question,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know what it feels like to be rejected.
Yes.
What's it like? And it sounds
To be the
horrible
rejectee.
to be the rejectee.
It's really hard. It's really hard. And I'm starting to like, I don't know. I always try to make, if I'm choreographing or if I'm judging or if I'm doing anything, I always try to make it a really stress-free situation. I have definitely been in scenarios where the teacher or choreographer or director have been stressed out and mean, and it almost feels like they're trying to prove something or that they're better than, and I just think it's so useless. You're not going to get your best work out of people if you're like putting that energy out there, or at least I don't think you don't get my best when you treat me like that, for sure. And so for me, I've always tried to make the experience a positive one, whether they end up getting the job or not. And I hope that that is enough for some people to be able to like walk away with their head held high. But it's hard. You want to, give it to everybody. You want everyone to have an opportunity where they're proud of themselves. But there's also people that come in acting like they already got the job. And I'm like, I don't like, it's like, so sometimes it's a little, not that it's fun, but it's just like you see, it is interesting to be on that side of it and see different things, because someone might come in thinking they're just being really confident, but I see you not hold the door for the person behind you as you walk in, or I'm seeing you talk shit on the side. I don't want to work with you. And so it's been a very interesting thing to be on that side of it, or starting to be more on that side of it. But I don't like it. I mean, I like doing it, but that part of the job, the rejecting part, the saying like, and how we'll a lot of times do it is they'll perform. They'll be like in the dance studio, and we'll have, sorry.
No, you're good. Feel free to drink as you wish.
And then we'll have, so we'll usually be behind a table. They'll come in, and I teach a routine, right? It's a short routine, 20 to 30 seconds, hopefully. Usually, I hate it when there's like a long audition number. I don't understand the point of it. There's no point. So I try to keep it short and sweet. Teach them a dance so no one knows it. And then basically we go, okay, 3 at a time, 4 at a time. You're going to line up and do it. So people will be on the side. Again, I'm watching everyone in the room, whether you're being like supportive or if you're being nice or whatever, because that really, I mean, we have a split second to get to know who you are. And so there's like a lot of things that are probably like feeding into our decisions. But we go and everyone brings their headshot and resume. So we have their headshots and resumes on the table in front of us so that we can see things that they've done, previous experience, things like that. A lot of times that doesn't always matter, but sometimes we're curious. And then they'll line up in the same order. We'll say, okay, so numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, please be there, if they have numbers. Otherwise, we'll say names. And then they'll do it generally twice. We usually have people, if we have 4 people, we'll have them perform, and then they switch lines so that the back line comes to the front line goes back. They get to do it again. And then a lot of times we'll be like, okay, thank you guys so much. Numbers 1, 2, please stay. 3 and 4, thank you so much for coming. And that's it. Then they leave and 1 and 2 stay. And that part is always just so hard because I mean, you're just there sharing the most like vulnerable parts of you. Like, I mean, what is more vulnerable than being there performing, like expressing, and then me being like, thanks, but no thanks. That's, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But yeah, it's just part of the job.
Part of the industry.
Part of the industry. Yeah.
And really, as we talked about earlier, that's everywhere.
It totally applies. Yeah.
Like even if in your working corporate world,
right?
It's vulnerable to go put yourself, talk to 3 people at a time,
right?
And do your absolute best that
right.
you know how to, and then be told no.
Right. It's so hard to feel like I really just did everything I could and it still wasn't enough. And it's hard to, where do you file that, right? It just takes like practice probably to be able to be like, okay,
I'm good.
Off. Yep. Not me. It's not a me thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In your business, so do you call yourself a teacher and then students, or is like mentor mentee? Like what's the title you guys use?
I think we usually would say teacher and students, but it depends on the relationship and the type of work that we're doing. Like with the collective, we do have a mentorship program. So some people opt into a program where we get to work with them a little bit more one-on-one. But then most of the time it's just like classes. So a lot of time I would say both, but that's most fair. Of the time it's teacher and student.
So let's say you're in a position where you're getting somebody ready to go choreograph, try out. How do you teach or mentor the student to be okay with that rejection? What's the advice you give them?
Kind of like what I said, that there's only one you, and if it's not you today, that's okay. That doesn't take anything away from the hard work that you've put in. It doesn't take anything away from the career you're going to have. But still probably, it might hurt a little. And that's okay. And that means you care, right? So I think I also remind them of that is like, there's a reason that you care, and that's beautiful. And that's what's making, you have to have that in this industry. Because as soon as you don't like get out because it's too hard to, if you're not like in it, it's not worth it. It's too difficult.
I love that you mentioned this. Like, it's going to hurt. If you care.
Right.
Like, I remember as a kid, I played a lot of different sports, mainly soccer. Mm-hmm. But I remember where kids would get upset how they played or not winning.
Right.
And just seeing parents be like, don't cry. Like, you're fine.
Right.
It's like, no, you should cry.
Right.
Like, good that you care.
Right, exactly.
Good on you.
Right.
I feel like that's such an empowering aspect to it, because it's like, wait, you don't want me to care?
Right.
You don't want me to win?
Right. I catch myself saying that to my kids sometimes, where especially if it's something that I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Why are you crying? Like, oh my gosh, get your shit together. Where you're like, or if someone gets hurt, or like, okay, on the drive here, my daughter was upset about something, and I was just like exhausted, and it was over, honestly, something really stupid. It was really dumb, like embarrassingly dumb.
Can I ask what
it was? Like over these. Well, she was also okay. So at first, I thought she was just upset because I know very little about Hello Kitty, but she loves the character Cinnamon Roll. Okay. And she had been staying with her cousins in St. George. And I guess they had just found this like cinnamon roll hat that, like, when you pull on it, the ears like flop. She was so excited about it. So I don't know if she was upset that we were like happened to be leaving right when they found it, or that she like wasn't able to take it with her. I really don't understand. But and so at first I was like, Teddy, you're okay. Like, you're fine. Like, chill, take a breath. And I try to always, this is a bad parenting example. I'm usually pretty good, but but I was just like kind of in my own space and trying to get out the door. And then a little bit later, I like took a couple breaths and I was just like, are you okay? Like, take some breath. I took her hand. She's like, I just really miss my cousins. And so I think sometimes that like the surface emotion isn't always what we're actually really feeling. And for being a parent, sometimes you can forget that, and understanding that there's always a reason, that like it's usually something much deeper that's like creating the reaction. And it's a good thing that they're feeling things. It's a good thing to learn how to move through it. It's a good thing for them to be able to cry and go, it's okay. My sister-in-law, actually, she did, she was doing, I'm going to sound like an idiot because I don't actually remember what her job was, but she was working in the children's hospital and some sort of like therapy program, and like mental, like helping the kids mentally that are stuck in a hospital for a long time or something. And I butchered that. Sorry. I have no idea. But she's working in the hospital, or she was doing this program where they talked about how you think that kids that have low conflict are the most like well-rounded kids, but it's really not. It's kids that have high conflict, high love in their homes. And so understanding it's okay to have emotions, and understanding it's okay to have conflict because the love is still there. Those are the kids that generally are the most well-equipped and most successful, because they understand that not only is it okay, but it's normal to have emotions and to be able to like express those emotions, but being received with love and having that be, it's not a problem that they're feeling those things. It's okay. And they're still loved through it. And that's an unconditional type of thing. So I think that's a really important. I try to remember that a lot with my kids.
That's important.
Selfishly, because I'm a highly emotional person. And so I do sometimes get upset at them. And I do sometimes, maybe don't handle the situation perfectly. But one thing I do know that I do very well is that I also offset it with like a lot of love, and making sure that like, just because I was upset doesn't mean that I'm taking love away from you, or you don't deserve my love anymore because you did something that made me upset.
Absolutely.
It's a hard balance, but yeah.
Well, I'm not a parent, so I can't speak to the parenting side of things.
Sure.
But I can speak to marriage.
Right.
I can speak to leadership and
Yes.
coaching. And something that's been floating around, again, I can't give parent advice. I'm not qualified. I'm not a parent. But leadership really ties to kids.
Totally.
And something floating around in leadership as well as parenting, I'm sure you've heard, is gentle parenting. But here's the thing. Vulnerability without boundaries is not vulnerability.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's okay to be curious before you get furious.
Ooh.
But
I like that. Curious before furious.
Vulnerability without boundaries is not vulnerability. You are allowing somebody else to walk over you.
Right.
You are allowing somebody to manipulate you.
Right.
And same aspect. If you are being vulnerable without any boundaries for somebody else, you are manipulating somebody.
Right.
You are being disrespectful.
Right.
So I'm not your kid, so I don't know. And I'm not you, so I don't know. But what I hear is I'm vulnerable with my kids, but I also have clear set boundaries of what is or isn't okay.
Totally.
And I respect that.
Right. Or if I know I crossed a line, I have a responsibility to apologize for that. Or, just because I'm the adult, what I say goes. Doesn't mean that I can't take responsibility for how I handled a situation and apologize for that. Like, there'll be times in the car where I'll be like overstimulated and freak out, and I'll be like, okay, here's a good one. Make me seem like such a psycho. I'm really giving you a peek into my psychosis. But I go crazy over like the sound of people eating sometimes. Like, so when we're in the car.
Well, sounds like me. I'm not joking.
Really?
She will vouch for that.
I'm
okay to be psycho.
It's a real thing. It's called misophonia or misophonia or something. It's a real thing. You can Google it. because I really was like, is there something wrong with me? I get like crazy stressed out. Like I would start like freaking out. So
immediate
in the car,
anxiety, right?
immediately sweating, immediate anxiety where I'm just like, I can't even focus. I remember my mom would die. We laugh about this all the time still. We were on set of High School Musical 2 and we were back watching like the monitors while they were filming. I wasn't in the scene and someone came over to us and they had like from craft services, which is where like all the food is. They had a cup of like veggie sticks, like carrots and cucumbers and celery or something. I don't know. But they came right next to me and they were just like chomping on it. And my mom is dying laughing. She's on the side of me. I'm here and the person's eating here. And I literally had to like stick my finger in my ear. And I was just like trying so hard to like be chill, losing my mind. I'll never forget that. But so when we're driving in the car, it's a small space. Usually it's like a popcorn or something crunchy. And I'm just like, my poor son is usually in the front seat with me. And I'm just like, Croy, seriously, you got to figure out, I need you to figure this out right now. And then I'll like take a breath and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm such a psycho. I really love you. If you could try to help me out with this, where it's like, because I'm only human too, right? Like I'm still, like I said before we started, like people just hand you a baby, like they just let you go home with it. You know what I mean? Like there's very little training on how to handle all of it. And I sometimes can't even believe that I have 2 kids that are almost 12 and 9. Like it's so crazy. And I'm just doing my best too. Like I'm still figuring it out. I'm still trying to figure out how to be my best self. But I think knowing that owning, again, it's about like taking responsibility for your part in everything and just like being like, okay, I need to own the fact that was a little crazy and I apologize. I love you, but help me. Help me, help you, help me. Thank
Exactly.
you.
I will say when it comes to leadership or even parenting, because I was a kid,
Right.
I respect a parent or a leader that can say 3 things. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Or I don't know. Let's figure it out.
Yes.
And that ties into the vulnerability, right?
Totally.
Being able to say, I'm sorry.
For sure.
That's a vulnerable moment to say, I'm wrong.
Right.
To be able to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
When you're the person that they're looking up to.
Right.
Let's figure it out.
Right.
Or I was wrong. Like
right.
all of those sentiments, like it's powerful.
Totally. I think ego can be like a crazy thing within a relationship, any sort of relationship, parent-child relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship, having control of your ego, really being able to separate confidence and ego. Because if you don't know how to manage exactly what you're saying, if you can't say I'm sorry, if you can't say I don't know, if you can't say I was wrong, that'll cause a lot of issues.
Absolutely. One thing I really respect you is just a pivot is so many people abandon their dreams because of kids. And one, I actually think that is really sad and unfortunate because what are you telling your kids when you abandon your dreams?
Right.
How have you led your family in a way that's allowed you to consistently pursue what you're amazingly talented at, but also have worked really hard at?
Sure.
But also raising a family.
Thank you. I actually really appreciate that. And I love this question because especially in this industry, I think there are so many people that either wait because they're like, oh, I don't want to have kids yet. I can't have kids because I still want to do this. Or there's people that have kids and go, oh, I can't do it anymore, And I'm going to attribute my success within this because of my mom. My mom did it. I watched it firsthand. So for me, it wasn't a limiting belief. It wasn't a question. I just knew it was possible. I knew it was possible to still have a family, to be a wife, to be a mom, and be in this industry and be successful in this industry. And so I think that's generally why, because I just had this overarching umbrella of My mom did it. I watched it. But I have seen so many people put it off, and now potentially, they're hitting the end, more towards the end of their career, because our career is limited, right? I can only dance for so long before my body starts I'm hitting it, like hitting that point, which is why we're trying to find other things outside of dance, or with like the collective. I'm so excited to kind of not have to be the one dancing all the time, because I'm getting old. Like, it just is one of those things. It doesn't last forever. So I see people kind of hitting towards the end of their career, or what their body's comfortable doing now. And now they're like, oh, well, now what? Now I need to try to figure this out and pursue this. And that always is tough, right? Because we do have like a clock. But then I have a lot of friends. I would actually say the majority of friends, especially growing up in Utah, that I remember someone saying, well, as soon as I have kids, like, obviously I can't do this anymore. And I just remember I don't think I even said anything out loud, but just remember being like, that's crazy. Like, why would she even say that? Of course she could. If she wants to, she totally could. And again, I think my delusion is fully because of my mom. I was just able to move through those whatever objections I would have maybe had, they just didn't even exist for me. But I will say that it's, taken a village. Like, it's not a necessarily easy job to have kids with, like, during, but I've had different phases of my career too. So when I was living in Las Vegas, I was mostly doing shows, which your call time, like when you start working, is around usually 5:30, and then you perform until because usually you do 2 shows a night. First one's generally at like 7, next one's at 9:30. So you're finishing around like 11 or midnight. So I was generally able to be home with my kids all day long. And then they would be with their dad. I was still married at the time. So, I'd be home all day, and then I'd leave for work, and he'd do bedtime, and I didn't really have to worry about it. Now it's a little different. I don't feel comfortable. There's been a few shows I thought about jumping back into over the last few years, but now my kids are older. They're gone all day, and I don't want to be gone the only time I'd be able to see them, especially now that I don't get to have them all the time. And so the time is more precious. So there's been different phases. So now I freelance, I do more gigs. I get to choose my schedule a little bit more, and I can choose when I take the time away from it. If it's the week I have my kids, sometimes I try not to take any jobs during that. And then I try to take more or teach more when I don't have them. But I feel like that's obviously a very specific scenario. But I think for me there's always a way to figure it out. I mean, and being a single mom, I have to work. It's not one of those things where I can just I wonder sometimes what it would be like to just be home and be a normal wife and mom, or more traditional, I won't say normal, more traditional wife and mom, where I could not worry about working or anything, but that's just not my life. And again, we talk about decisions, and that's the decisions I've made have led me to that. And I love what I do. I don't know if I don't think I'd ever really want to change it. But it definitely is, for me, actually, I think gives me a lot more freedom than a normal job would give me. Right. So for a little while, I was after one of my last shows closed, I started working as a trainer at Lifetime, which is a gym. But it was a shift, it was 8 to 5. And so that was way harder to manage with the kids and stuff, because I had to be gone that time. I was missing pickup from school. I was missing all these things. And I don't know, being a parent in general is difficult. And so any job trying to balance is tough. One thing that someone told me once was, people talk about balance like that exists. Balance doesn't exist. You have to find harmony. And so that's what I think I try to do more now with my kids, where it's what jobs can they come with me to? When can they come with me out of town when I'm teaching? So there's times where I'll be asked, there was this little studio that would bring me out every summer. And so the kids would come with me and they'd hang out with me at the studio, and then we'd find fun things to do and we'd stay an extra couple days. So figuring out ways to find harmony within what my job is asking of me has been something that I think has brought a lot of joy and opportunity for our little family.
Absolutely.
I feel like I really went off on a tangent on that. Sorry.
If you're striving for balance, the reality is it's honestly pretty simple. You will drop things and you will break things. It's not to say, but what I heard in all of that is you have a choice.
Right.
Are you going to abandon ship and live a life that's possibly something that you're going to regret not pursuing your dreams, or are you just going to figure it out?
Right. Oh, I really went off on a tangent. Let me say this because I feel like I kind of missed the whole point of what you were asking. I know for a fact I'm a better mom. I know for a fact I'm a better person, which obviously like ties into being a mom. When I'm feeling fulfilled, when I'm feeling like I'm accomplishing what I want to accomplish, when I hit certain goals, when I come home, am I exhausted? Yes. But did I just feel productive? And did I feel like I did that? Like and I know that I am showing them something that's really important. Not that the more traditional mom isn't, you're showing them different things. I obviously can't speak to as many of those, but for me, like, I think it's been really cool and unique that I've been able to show my kids, like, yes, you can still do what you love to do. You can, pursue something outside of maybe what you would have thought is possible or whatever makes you happiest. And if that's something totally different than, obviously what I'm doing, that's perfectly fine. But I am really grateful that I'm able to show them an example like my mom was able to show me, because I really do think it gets, takes so much of the limiting beliefs. They don't even exist. And that's what I think I'm hoping to show as a parent who is doing something that she loves to do, that she is following her dreams, that she's able to accomplish these things. I'm really hoping that it's not that I'm even showing them how to get rid of limiting beliefs, but that just won't even be there to begin with. And that would be, that's a huge win for me as a mom.
That's powerful. I love that. So it sounds like teaching is what's next for you.
Yes. So we started this company, the Collective Dance Co., and it's less of, I don't even like to call it teaching, to be honest. I feel like we put on an experience for these students.
Love that.
We're focused more on building confidence, reminding them why they love to dance, because this age is so strange, right? You're really there to learn a few things. There's a couple different types of kids that are in the studio, and some of them want to do what I do. Some of them want to dance forever. Some of them want to have this be a career. Some kids won't. Some kids just are there because they like it and they have friends there and they enjoy it. And both are, equally as deserving to be there and as important for, there's no right way to do it. But we want to be there to help both of those groups of people understand how beautiful they are, how wonderful they are, and start learning that internal validation now, instead of always constantly looking for that on the outside of them. Understanding that dance can be such a great tool to build up your confidence. And it doesn't have to be something tragic. It can be something that is wonderful. It's going to help you with whatever you decide to do. It's going to help you be the best daughter. It's going to help you be a wife. It's going to help you be a good partner. It's going to help you be an amazing mom if you let it, because those are the things, if you let it teach you, if you soak in the good stuff and kind of know how to repel the stuff that kind of hurts, that's still going to make you a stronger person. That's, someone that's never dealt with rejection gets into an argument with their partner, and maybe it's going to hurt them a lot more, or they're going to take something a lot more personally, versus being like, this is your opinion, I have mine, and that's totally fine. Let's find something in the middle, or let's figure out how to move through this. You know what I mean? And so really we're just trying to help them be the best humans that they can be. And for the people that want to keep dancing, I think that the world is the industry is crazy competitive. It's turning into something that can be a little toxic at times for these young dancers to be dealing with, because they'll go to a competition and they just want to win, win, win. But there's a lot more losers than winners. Not everyone can win. And so it's hard for them to move through that sometimes. And just helping them understand, this is one of my favorite things to say, is that you get hired once. If you want to keep dancing, you get hired once because you are talented. Yes. But you get hired twice because people like to work with you. And so if you're constantly worried about being the best and winning and stepping on people's toes to get there, or talking behind people's backs or causing problems, no one's going to hire you again. So I think that that's a huge part of what we're trying to do, is remind them of why. Why are they there? Why do you love to dance? Okay, keep that in mind. It's not to win. It's not to win a piece of plastic. It's not to win a scholarship. It's because you love to be there. You like how it makes you feel. And then understanding that being a good human is much more impactful and important than being a good dancer. And that if you have to, that people are going to want to be around you more and you're going to get hired more, that if you're actually more worried about being the person that's holding the door, the person that's saying thank you to the person, running the music, like little things that kids don't understand because they haven't gone through it. Right.
Absolutely.
I had to learn things the hard way. And so we're just trying to take the things that we learned the hard way and make it a little bit more digestible and easier to understand now. That's like my goal, is to have that be what they're learning. And so, yes, I do teach, but I feel like what Alyssa and I, my partner, what we're trying to do is facilitate more growth and change than teach dance, if that makes sense.
I think anybody could benefit from taking a dance class from you, myself included.
You are more than welcome to come.
Oh, that would be embarrassing. But I would embarrass myself to come to a class.
Okay, perfect.
So we'll make that happen.
Yes.
Megan will join me.
Oh, I can't wait.
That would honestly be so much fun. We'll make that happen.
Okay.
With that, as we come to a close here, I have one last question for you. And what is that? What's the definition of an authentic life to you?
Ooh, the definition of an authentic life to me, I think it would be, different parts of my life, I would have said different things. I think right now, for me, presence is the most important way you can show your authenticity. I think like being in the room that you're in, being locked in with the person that you're speaking with or experience something with, rather than worrying about what's happened or what's going to happen. And just like being present is going to bring the most authentic parts of yourself to the surface. It's going to be the easiest way to be like you. And I think being present would be what I would say.
I love that. Simple.
But
we need that simplistic. When we say authenticity, it's like people be like, what is that?
Well, you can go down a million paths, right? And it's kind of be different for everybody. And so for me, I think if I know I was just like aware of where I was all day long and I wasn't stressed out about what's coming or, stuck in some depressive what's happened, I know I showed up as my best self that day. And I feel like that's what being authentic means.
That's powerful. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, Kelli. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us today on Journey to Authenticity. If you liked what both myself and Kelli had to share, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. This helps to ensure we get the highest quality and most interesting guests to help you come transform your life. Also, while I have you here, I wanted to introduce you to my book, The Code of Transformation. If you liked what we talked about today and you want to take your transformation to the next level, this is going to bring you through 7 core steps that will help you transform your life to ultimately become your true authentic self, create a clear vision for life, and step into that life of transformation where you can reap the rewards of accomplishing your dreams. With that in mind, have a good rest of your day, everybody.